said, I think I'll
think I'll stay right here.
But now you can go across. They have people that take you across.
No, probably sheriff probably killed somebody.
Yeah, and they go down the river.
I don't think I want to cross anything right now.
But it was really neat because we were camping and you could see the little
So are
village
we,
and the lights and hear the birds.
we rolling tonight?
It was really cool.
Those are pretty good.
It
I'm impressed.
was very neat.
Yeah.
It's one of my best vacations.
Sounds like it was pretty nice. I'm sorry, Brittany. Brittany.
Jason, I think Jason, he's not. What's our little purple thing? Was it that time?
Welcome to tonight's meeting. I'd like to ask that you silence your phone. Thank everybody for attending and invite you to join us for the invocation. And we're going to ask Chief Page if he will offer our invocation tonight.
Heavenly Father God, Lord, we come to you. We thank you for the beautiful weather we've had today, Lord. We thank you for the recent rains. God, we thank you for all you do for us. God, we ask that you be with our council tonight as they make decisions affecting our city. God, that the decisions would be in your will. God, we just thank you for these things and for these people. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item on the agenda is items of community interest. Do you have something, don't you, Terry?
Well, I just wanted to say, just for public record, that we have approximately 500 kids signed up for our Little League program out here this year, which is really good, so.
That's fantastic.
So we'll be starting that soon here.
I'd like to make a statement too. We did the Dancing to the Stars 2023 this Saturday night, and our community raised over $50,000 for our local scholarship funds.
Yeah, over 55.
Over 55,000. So we set a new record this year. So thank you to the community and especially everybody that worked. And I'm going to just jump out there and say thank you, Cindy Roller and Janice Crawley. All right, let's move on to the city manager's report.
We had a visit from Colby Shelton, who is the new TxDOT engineer for this area. TxDOT is concerned about the intersection of Highway 59 and North Mill Street. As you're probably aware, there was a traffic accident there where a young man was killed recently. TxDOT wants to know our take on the idea of closing off that part of the intersection where Mill Street angles into Highway 59. Over the years, there have been several accidents at that intersection, and I think that closing off the very end of Mill and having it intersect with Highway 59 just south of where there is already an outlet off of Mill, and make it a more controlled intersection. Galen, Stoney, Doug, and I met with Colby and talked about the change, and our input was to close it. Another problem with the intersection is that traffic coming off of 59 does so at speeds that are dangerous. If they must slow down to turn on Mill Street in the new area, it will probably have the effect of slowing the traffic down the traffic in that area. If the council has any comments on this, please let me know. We're just now in the early stages of this, so we have time to take comments from you and the general public. So if you've got any comment about that, let us know so that we can relay it on to TxDOT. This past week we had Liz Flynn, who works for Congressman Ronny Jackson's office at City Hall, on Wednesday to talk to citizens about anything having to do with the federal government. She was quite busy during the day, and after her office hours, I took her on a field trip to show her the bridges that Congressman Jackson wrote a letter of support for our grant application. She now knows the problems that we have with the bridges. The required Public Utility Commission requirement that we update our emergency operations plan every year was turned in this week. Our plan didn't change much, and we are now covered at the PUC. Mike Tibbetts with Hayter Engineering was here on the 15th to discuss the plan for the Nelson and Lamb Street bridges. We made a few changes to the plan and liked the design. Mike informed us that the plans are over 50% complete, and as soon as we have the complete plans, we will start the bidding process. We've also been working with Hayter on the plans for the sewer line replacement project. The plans for phase 1 of that project are almost ready to be reviewed by Texas Water Development Board, which should take about a month to complete, and then we will be ready to start the bidding on that project. About a year and a half ago, I made application for some opioid settlement money that was available from the Texas Attorney General's office. I've continued to make applications at the AG's office and made settlement with several concerns, mostly drug companies and people that sell pharmaceuticals. This week, we received our first check in the amount of $27,000 and change. This money is available for training and any program or activity that we undertake to combat opioid addiction. I'm now in the process of seeing what activities and training we can do that is legal for us to do. I'm sure that I will have more about this later. I was sent a list of things, and I've distributed those lists to Doug and Guy Green to see what activities in the city we might have. And also, you know, there might be some organizations that do counseling or whatever for opioid addiction and stuff. So, you know, if there's a way for us to funnel some of that money. I have applied for somewhere over $100,000 now, and this is just the first check. So there should be more coming later. So, any questions?
On the Mill Street and 59 intersection, how long would something like that take to accomplish, to close down and have another
I don't know. Don't have any idea. Colby didn't give us any idea of what it would take, because, you know, if they choose to move to that entrance right there on Mill Street by 59, they're gonna have to widen that and probably have some sort of control. We discussed lights, like flashing lights or whatever, but until they make their decision of what to do, we won't have any idea of a timeline. And since we had our visit, I had not heard it from his office, so.
So would they be taking on this entire project? It wouldn't have anything to do with
Yeah, it
us?
won't cost us a nickel.
I mean, I think it should have already been done, talked about probably after the first accident, but
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
He did make it very clear to us that this was the very, very earliest stages
Sure.
of this. But we did like his idea. I like the idea of closing it down too. And fortunately, it's set up in such a way that the street's not gonna have to be closed in any way to do this entire process. So it wouldn't inconvenience the public at all.
If I had to guess how they're gonna do it, I'd say they'd probably take care of the entrance to 59 first and then close off the rest of it.
Sure.
Because there'll have to be barricades and stuff there to stop the traffic, and they'll have to light that up for night driving, so. Anyway,
All right, any other questions on anything else? If not, we're gonna move to the consent agenda items.
I have one more.
Yes, go ahead.
On Hayter, if we're 50% with the plans, is it gonna take just, like, how much longer are we talking?
your idea is the same as mine. I've started pushing them,
Okay.
telling them to hurry up.
Glad you asked that. I was wondering that.
Once the plans are finalized, they'll come to you guys. I've asked Stoney after he gets everything finalized. I want him to present to y'all the plan so you can see exactly what we're gonna do. That way you can talk about it more proficiently whenever the public asks you about it. All right, on to consent agenda items. The first thing I want to bring to your attention is, your minutes are in your packet, but on the collections for the city utility, which was $26.90 this month, I just want to say that speaks a lot for our community, because there have been times in the past when this was consistently thousands of dollars, and we're down to, you know, fairly low numbers each time we do this. So I would entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
Laura, was that you?
Yes.
Okay, Laura, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Christie, we'll go with you. Shaw,
Yes.
Gunner,
Yes.
Bates,
Aye.
Post,
Aye.
Sproles.
Aye.
Any old business on any of your minds you would like to bring up at this time? If not, we'll move on to new business, which is to approve a park host with the contract. Is the contract in their packets? All right, which is also in your packet. As you know, we hire 6-month contract employee for. Clyde, do you have anything that you would like to say about this position and this person?
He seems like a hard worker.
They all do, don't they? So this is a person that, this was your only application? Yes. Is that, okay. So this is a person that Clyde has brought to us to hire for the Selma Park, for this summer at Selma Park.
I have a question.
Yes.
One of the things I didn't notice in the contract is, are we going to have any kind of like Facebook rules since last time we had?
Well,
a
they made
page?
their own Facebook page, so obviously we have no control over their page. If we want any control, we need to start our own page, and then you'll have to compete with whatever it is somebody else wants to do. But
Okay.
that was not a city-controlled page, that was their
I
own.
just didn't know if you were gonna have any kind of regulations for, you know, the contractor.
I think that, well, I think that we'd be real limited to free speech here.
Okay.
So, I mean, we do try and control it. If we see something that shouldn't go on there, Clyde, myself, Bonnie, anybody that sees something that shouldn't be on there, all you gotta do is call us. We'll try to control it, but last year there was, yeah. No, it was the people behind it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There also should be information on the city's website about Selma Park and that.
Hey,
So-
do these employment application candidates, do they go through background checks like anybody else?
These are the contract labor, what this is. If we don't pan out, we just dissolve the contract. But we call and ask around about people.
We just don't, yeah, we don't go through the thorough background checks with them, so.
We only had one person.
Only reason I ask that, because out there what they're doing, aren't they around a lot of people and children and different things of that nature? So I just thought maybe any applicant that we have that's gonna be around that kind of environment for the city out there, that we ought to consider background checks on any of those, but it's probably not that costly to do that, is it?
No.
I'm not saying, I don't even know this gentleman here, but I'm just saying anybody in general that would apply for a job like that. Just food for thought. I'd
Tell you
hate
the
to,
truth, I don't know what procedures Pamela goes through when she's doing that. She may already be doing that, so don't know.
okay. Well, just thought it might be
He's got a
food for
Bowie address, so at least he's from here,
thought. Right.
so,
It's about all we know.
yeah.
All I know, he seems like a hard worker. That's all I.
And do you think that he is capable of doing what's required of him out there?
Yeah, between me and Bonnie, we'll work with him and help him, and his wife will help him too.
We're not voting on this person, we're voting on this contract, correct?
No, you're,
Well, the person and the contract kind of go hand in hand.
But if he don't pan out, we can break the contract.
So do I have a motion to accept the contract as presented?
So moved.
Thank you.
second.
Laura, was that you again?
Oh, yes.
Gunner?
Aye.
Bates?
Aye.
Post?
Aye.
Sproles?
Aye.
And Shaw?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is the request from the Public Works Director for $25,000 out of the infrastructure fund for water line to a new Family Dollar store. Please bring them up to date on all this.
Good evening. Real simple on this, in order to provide proper fire protection to the Family Dollar store, we need to upgrade that water line. The current line it's a 4-inch water line. It's considered commercial, so it has to be a minimum of 8. So we actually already started because I needed to get it done while school was on spring break to get across Roach Street. So basically, we cross Jackson, or come down Jackson, cross Roach, go all the way down Jackson, cross the creek, and then we'll come back up close to 59 and set that fire hydrant. It's approximately 561 feet of water, 8-inch water line with a new hydrant.
I thought it was 6 inches.
Huh?
I thought it was 16.
No, it's 8,
We can put a fire hydrant on 6, can't we?
not for commercial.
Okay. That's where I'm lost.
So I'm asked for the 25,000. I think we'll be a little under that, but I always put a little extra in case we run into some problems, but,
Will this be able to be utilized with other, along its path in other ways?
yeah, if there's ever any additions over there or anything,
Yeah.
we'll be able to tie in. We're gonna actually, when we set it up there, we're gonna have it, set up to where if we needed to add on and run down 59 further, we could do that at a later date. 'Cause like I say, currently, there's just a 4-inch line.
Sure.
And then it goes down to supposedly what's been used, or supposed to be used as a fire hydrant there for years. It's not adequate whatsoever. So,
So I would entertain a motion to accept the request of $25,000 out of the infrastructure fund, which there are funds there to do that.
That's a good thing.
Next question.
So moved.
Brad? Do you have a question, Terry?
No, you answered it before I got to ask.
Yeah, okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Terry? Post?
Aye.
Sproles?
Aye.
Bates?
Aye.
Gunner?
Aye.
Shaw?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Stoney. Next item on the agenda is an applicant for the Parks Board, Michael Eichler. Is that why you're here, Janice, tonight?
Well, yes. Yes, it is.
I don't know if anyone in here knows him. He's a former photographer, may still be a photographer. I haven't been in touch with him lately. But he did talk to Margin, who's the chairman of that board, and showed a great deal of interest in participating. So that's where this application came from. So I would entertain a motion to accept Michael Eichler as the newest board member for the Parks Board.
How many seats are filled?
That'll put them at 7 or 6?
No, they're short.
6.
Four. They're short.
Well, yeah, because we lost you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, not nearly enough, but they're working on trying to get 7. So who made the motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Christie? Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Sproles?
Aye.
Bates?
Aye.
Gunner?
Aye.
Shaw?
Yes.
Post?
Aye.
Thank you.
Quick question. Janice, are y'all still meeting on the last Thursday of the month?
Yes, we'll have a meeting
This week? Dang, gummit. Okay.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is on some land that the city has to lease. It went out for bid. Sandy's kind of brought me up to date on this. The only gentleman that put in a bid for it went out to see the land and found that there were 34 head of cattle on this piece of property that did not belong to anybody from the city or anybody that we knew of. So, in turn, there's no grass on this property. It's a 3-year contract, 4-year contract.
I think it's a 3 year.
It's a 3-year contract with a renewal option. He was the only one to bid on this piece of property. He has asked for some compensation because it's gonna take him a year to get it built back up for putting his cattle on it. We cannot guarantee him the next, bid placement, but we can modify the bid contract price. So for him, I'm coming to you asking if you will consider a modification for the first year lease, which he has made a proposal of $500 a year. And I think that we probably should compensate him somehow since we didn't even know that we had cattle on our land.
Has anybody looked at it? I mean,
David went out to look at it when he got the phone call and said, who's leasing this land because there's 34 head of cattle? And they did find a makeshift gate on a fence line, homemade gate on a fence line for the property next door. So we're assuming that's where the cattle came from.
David went out and ran the cattle back through the gate.
I hope it was the right
Well,
gate.
he should have compensated them puppies. I'd have put them in a
I said, I
trailer.
hope
and
it
let
was the
guy
right
come
gate.
got 'em and compensated for the difference.
We don't care. We just got them off of us, so.
So I would consider at least a 50% discount on his first year's lease. I'd like to present that to y'all, but, talk amongst yourselves and what would you like to do?
Is this the same property?
No, this is a
This is
second
a
piece of property,
different-
but it's the same leasee,
Okay.
leaseor.
The problem with this one is there's no water out there, none whatsoever. So he's gonna have to haul water and stuff. That's why we'll take less because there's not any water. So if he does put cattle out there, he's gonna have to water them, haul water to them and stuff. So, I think anything that we can do, and the good thing about leasing it is he's gonna be out there, and things like somebody running cattle on our property won't happen if he's out there. So it's just a way to, number one, to, get a little revenue, but number two is watch our property, cause he'll take care of it, so.
It's actually right past the, overpass on 174,
The old landfill.
old landfill. So, but it's still, it is a request that he has made of us, so I want to present it to you.
Historically, what is that leased for? Have we leased it?
We haven't leased it in how many years?
Oh, probably, it's probably been 10 years since we leased it.
Any suggestions? Anybody would like to make a proposal, make a motion?
What would the concession be on our end?
Well, first year, a reduced rate for the lease. That's the only concession.
50%.
50%?
Well, I'm asking for a motion from someone to present a motion
I'll make the motion
for,
50%.
for 50%.
of the
on
first year? Okay,
Because there's no grass,
right.
there's no water.
Right now there is.
Well,
If there's a low spot, there's water.
yeah.
So I have a
Now,
motion on the floor from Laura for a 50% reduction on the first year's lease fee. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Stephanie. Shaw? Bates? Post?
Aye.
And Sproles?
Aye.
All right, so we're open to public comments if anybody has any. And if not, I will adjourn the meeting at 6:21. No, we were 6:14. Yeah, so we're 7 minutes over.